In the winter of 1959, in the heart of the Ural Mountains, 9 experienced hikers embarked on a journey that should have been a triumphant testament to their skill and endurance. Instead, it became one of the most chilling and inexplicable mysteries of the 20th century. What happened on that frozen slope, a place now known as Dyatlov Pass, has puzzled investigators and researchers for over 60 years. The official records are sparse, the evidence is bizarre, and the truth remains buried under a blanket of snow and speculation. This is the story of their final, fateful expedition. The group, led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, was composed of students and graduates from the Ural Polytechnical Institute. They were all seasoned skiers and mountaineers, well prepared for the harsh conditions of a Category 3 trek, the most difficult classification. Their faces, captured in black and white photographs from the journey, radiate youthful confidence and camaraderie. We see them laughing, setting up camp, and trekking through the vast, white wilderness. These images are the last testament to their lives, frozen moments of joy before the unimaginable descended. On January 27th, they began their ascent towards Otorten Mountain, a name which, in the local Mansi language, eerily translates to "don't go there." By February 1st, the group was behind schedule, hampered by worsening weather. A powerful snowstorm with gale-force winds forced them to deviate from their planned route. Instead of finding a more sheltered spot, they made a puzzling decision to set up camp on the exposed eastern slope of Kolatsiakal, or Dead Mountain. Their final diary entries and photographs depict them in good spirits, calmly preparing their tent for the night. There was no sign of distress, no hint of the terror that was about to unfold. It was the last night anyone would hear from them. Weeks passed with no word. When the search party was finally dispatched on February 20th, they expected to find a group waiting out the weather, perhaps low on supplies but alive. What they discovered on February 26th was far more disturbing. The hiker's tent was found half buried in snow, but it wasn't the elements that had destroyed it. It had been slashed open from the inside. It was clear the occupants had fled in a desperate hurry, leaving behind all their winter gear, boots, coats, supplies, and survival equipment. In sub-zero temperatures, they had run out into the unforgiving night, some of them wearing only their socks or even barefoot. Following the footprints leading away from the tent, searchers made their first grim discovery. Nearly a mile downslope, under a large cedar tree, they found the bodies of Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonishenko. They were barefoot and dressed only in their underwear. Nearby were the remnants of a small fire. It seemed they had tried frantically to climb the tree, perhaps to escape something or get a better view. Their hands were torn and bloodied from the bark. It was a scene of pure desperation. Between the cedar tree and the abandoned tent, the searchers found 3 more bodies: Igor Dyatlov, Zinaida Kolmogorova, and Rustem Slobodin. Their positions suggested they were trying to make their way back up the hill, toward the relative safety of the tent. They had succumbed to hypothermia, frozen solid in the act of a futile return. For 2 months, this was the extent of the discovery. 5 hikers, all dead from the cold. It was a tragic accident, but the slashed tent and the lack of proper clothing were deeply unsettling. The real horror, however, was yet to be found. It wasn't until May, after the snow had begun to melt, that the remaining 4 hikers were located. They were found in a ravine, about 75 meters from the cedar tree, buried under more than 10 feet of snow, and their condition defied all logic. Unlike the first 5, these 4 had suffered catastrophic internal injuries. Nikolai Thibobrino-Los had a massive skull fracture. Ludmila Dubinina and Semyon Zolotaryov had multiple broken ribs, chest fractures so severe they were comparable to injuries from a high-speed car crash. Yet bafflingly, there were almost no external signs of trauma on their bodies. Dubinina was also missing her tongue. The official investigation was concluded swiftly, just 3 months after the last bodies were found. The cause of death was ruled as a compelling natural force that the hikers were unable to overcome. The case files were then classified and sealed away for decades. This vague and unsatisfying conclusion only fueled speculation. What kind of natural force could cause such specific, brutal internal injuries without leaving external marks? Why would experienced hikers cut their way out of a tent and flee into a blizzard without their gear? And what about the strange reports from other hikers and locals who saw mysterious orange spheres or lights in the sky over the northern Urals around the same time? Over the years, Dozens of theories have emerged to explain the Dyatlov Pass incident. The most straightforward explanation is an avalanche. Proponents suggest a small slab avalanche could have hit the tent, causing panic and the initial internal injuries, forcing the group to cut their way out. Fearing another, larger slide, they fled downslope. In the dark and disoriented, they became separated and succumbed to the elements. This theory accounts for the urgency but struggles to explain the lack of evidence for an avalanche at the site, the specific pattern of injuries, and why they would run downhill, away from their gear. Other theories venture into more sinister territory. Could they have stumbled upon a secret military test? This might explain the strange lights in the sky and the subsequent cover-up. The compelling natural force could be a code word for a weapon's concussive blast, which might explain the internal injuries. Some even suggest an encounter with something not of this world. The missing tongue, the reports of radiation on some of the clothing, and the sheer terror that drove them from their tent have led many to believe they encountered something truly unknown. Was it an infrasound event, a rare natural phenomenon that can induce intense panic, or was it an attack by the local Mansi people, a theory quickly dismissed by investigators at the time? 60 years later, the mystery endures. Each piece of evidence seems to contradict another. The hikers' own photographs show a happy, confident team, unaware of their impending doom. The state of the campsite points to a sudden violent event that caused blind panic. The bodies tell two different stories, one of a desperate, freezing struggle against the elements, and another of a brutal, unseen force. The Dyatlov Pass incident is more than just a tragic story of hikers lost in the mountains. It's a chilling puzzle where every solution seems to raise more questions than it answers. The 9 who perished on Dead Mountain left behind a legacy of courage, and a mystery that continues to haunt the frozen slopes of the Ural Mountains. Perhaps some truths are not meant to be uncovered, but to serve as a stark reminder of the vast and powerful unknowns that lie just beyond the edge of our understanding.